Introduction. Animal communication is the passage of information between two animals. Animals convey information to members of their own species and other species through diversity of sounds, color, flashing light, smells, and posture. Animal communication, also known as biological communication. Next, types of communication. It has three types. First, intraspecific communication, interspecific communication. Third is predator to prey. For interspecific communication, it is communication within a single species, for example, honeybee dance. Interspecific communication, prey to predator, warning coloration in wraps. Predator to prey, for example, anglerfish. Some predator communicate to prey, make them easier to catch. Human-animal communication during domestication of animals. Okay, next we move to the basic components of communication. First, signaler, an individual that emits signal. Receiver, an individual that receives signals. Signal, the physical form in which a message is coded for transmission through the environment. Channel, a pathway through which normally a signal travels. For channel, we have visual, auditory, chemical, tactical, electrical, and surface vibration. Visual communication, information transmitted by visual, used most often by species that active during days, like as visual mean is used in night. For example, visual communication in bees. Bees mainly perform two types of dances. First, round dance. If source of nectar below 100 meters away, do not communicate the direction. Waggle dance. If source of nectar more than 100 meters away from hive, communication both dance and direction.
This returning bee has just found a new source of nectar and is going to tell others in the hive about it. First, she gathers an audience. To do that, she climbs on her sisters' backs and vibrates her abdomen. Now that she's got their attention, she begins her dance, using a code of movements that tell her fellow workers where her discovery lies. The duration of her waggle indicates the distance to the nectar source. The longer the waggle, the further the flower. And the angle at which she dances across the comb tells them the direction to the flower in relation to the sun. Her instructions are remarkably accurate and can pinpoint the location of a nectar source over 6 kilometers away. Some of her fellow workers set off immediately to find it.
Okay, now we proceed with auditory communication. It is sending information from one member to another by sound production. It also called bioacoustic signals. The examples of auditory communication. First, the deaf wasp better signal to each other by producing clicking sound made by tapping their head against wood. Red squirrel will make a series of loud rattle and scratches to warn of intruders. The bottlenose dolphin has a wide range of vocalizations. Male birds sing a song during breeding season. Odor or chemical communication. Molecules used for chemical communication between individuals animals are called pheromone. Pheromones are involved in mate identification, marking territory, alarm spreading. Odor signal can transmit information in dark, can travel long distance, and can last for hours or number of days. Usually the message causes an intermediate response. These are the examples of chemical communication. Female silkworm attract male by releasing a pheromone bombicle. Queen honeybee attract male by 9-oxodecanoic acids. Alarm pheromone are produced in ants in the forms of formic acid to protect themselves from enemy. Dog and some animals of dog family use urine to mark the boundaries of their territories. Tactical communication. The information transmitted in the form of physical contact, which is touch signal. Antenna of ants, termites, and honeybees are involved in this process. For example, female primates often hold and frequently cuddle their young. Okay, now we move to the electrical signal. It is the communication used in some fishes. It has the electroreceptor used in this communication. For example, sharks detect the electric field produced by the prey flatfish that are buried in the sand by specialized organ called the ampulla of Lorenzini. Electric fish communicate information about species identity and sex by discharging electric field. Okay, lastly, we move to the surface vibration. In some animals, information may be communicated by patterns of surface vibration. For example, water spiders send out ripples of certain frequency and receptive female respond by moving toward the sources. The cannibalistic male spider vibrates threads of web of his prospective partner, communicating that it is not a prey. Functions of communication: agonistic interaction, threat display during competition over food, mates or territory, mating ritual to attract and maintain the attentions of potential male, ownership to claim or defend territory, food-related signal to lead members of social group to a food sources, alarm call to warn of a threat from a predator.
Thank you for finishing the videos. I hope you guys get all the information I have explained. Thank you.